Going to pause briefly for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
This is Robcasting Radio.
From the Brewster Ice Arena, it is time for ice hockey. Time to get things going for the winter season. As tonight, we step into the Empire State to visit with the Mahopac Indians as they host their longtime rivals, the Carmel Rams. Good evening, everyone. Along with Harold Turk, I'm Rob Adams. Looking forward to this one. It's the first of two between these rivals. They play tonight, and then they play next Friday right back here at the BIA. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Indians having a great start to the season. They are 6-0 on the year. For Carmel, 2-3. Some hiccups early on. Harold, the thing they got to figure out is their goaltending.
That's right, Rob. Name of the game for Carmel right now is try to control or contain the Mahopac offense, which is amazing right now, running at a furious pace of about 8 1/3 goals per game, which is, you heard that right, 8 1/3 goals per game. Now, Carmel, they also can score, but their defense, they've been giving up a lot of goals as well. They're pretty much equal in the goals for, goals against with 23. So they give up about 4.5, 5 goals a game. Not a good sign if you're playing against a team like Mahopac that likes to fill the net.
And for Mahopac, rather for Carmel, they're missing Willow Barnes in net. She stepped out after last year, graduated, had a wonderful career. On the other side, Mahopac has a lot of experience. The seniors playing at a very high level.
Oh, yeah. The seniors right now for Mahopac are basically driving their offense. 2 players alone. We have TJ McGee and we have Brian O'Shea, responsible for 50% of their goals. That's crazy when you realize those 2 kids out there will be driving most of the offense for that team.
61 points between those 2 players, 27 goals. That's pretty impressive.
It really is. And you know what? And with a younger team like Carmel, where they have a novice defense, it could be a bit of a problem to face a team like that and 2 players like that.
In the plus-minus game, and it's amazing, we never get to talk about things like this in high school hockey, but plus-minus, Mahopac, 6 players, plus 20 and above.
Yeah, it's outstanding, especially the offense. Obviously, you know, when you're scoring, 26 and 35 points, you're going to be at plus 33. But their defense, plus 20. They have a couple of 24s, a 20 for Bricker. He's a forward. Nick Bricker is a plus 20. Aiden Martin's a plus 20. They definitely can. They know how to keep the puck out of the net, and they keep the offense going.
Crowd still filing in here in Brewster, and we wondered what kind of crowd we'd see tonight. Raindrops falling, temperatures hovering in the upper 30s. There was a winter weather advisory that has since gone away for the most part. We seem like we're going to survive, but just can't get a feel for if people will really come out here tonight.
Well, I've read elsewhere in journals around that this is the best rivalry in Section 1 hockey, as well as in Section 1 just about anything. So the crowd usually will come out for this game. And it looks like it's a fairly decent crowd for a Friday night. Sunday night, I'm losing days already. Next Friday, expect a much bigger crowd.
We are meeting the starting lineups right now. Carmel beginning to make their way out. They have a blue combination on the uniform with red and white. We'll introduce a little more when we can actually hear ourselves, because it's still a little hard to.
At right wing, number 11, Luke Golisano. At center, number 14, Brandon Murphy. And goal tonight for the Carmel Rams is Justin McCullough.
So it's Justin McCullough, the junior, who will start in goal tonight. And now we'll get to meet the Indians, who are the home team tonight in the white with the combination of gold and blue.
On defense, number 21, Cooper Betancourt. Assistant captain number 15, Aiden Merchant. At forward number 24, Nicholas Bianchini. Captain number 9, Brian O'Shea. Mahopac captain number 71, TJ McKee. Coaches Tim Donahue and Sean McGee.
You're getting to listen in on the introductions.
Cha-Cha, Brian Salmon Yalgo, and also Chip Cha-Cha.
Teams will make their way out to their respective blue lines, and we'll just about be ready to get things going. The Rams all stay out in front of their bench while the Indians all come out to the blue line. We will pause and listen to our national anthem. For Harold and I, it's been hurry up and wait night here at the BIA.
Yeah, we were all set up and ready to go at the...
in the 99 rink.
Yes, well,
and the game is in the 98 rink.
And it's silly us, we read the instructions, and it turned out that's where they were dressing in the locker room, but we had no way of knowing that. So.
No way of knowing it whatsoever. So we were actually all set up in there. We had made all kinds of arrangements, and you know, Kevin, the rink manager, has been great trying to hook us up with the right Wi-Fi to get on and all that, because the first Wi-Fi we were on would have been a disaster.
Yeah, it's whenever you're dealing with Wi-Fi, especially public Wi-Fi, once the crowd starts coming in, good luck.
Let's introduce the starting lineups again for the home Mahopac Indians in the white with the gold and the blue. It's Brian O'Shea, Aiden Martin on defense, Cooper Betancourt, Nick Biagini, and TJ McKee. To our right in net stands Logan McDougall. Once more for the Carmel Rams, Justin McCullough in net, Graham Ludwig with Luke Golisano, Brendan Murphy, Gavin Golisano, and Stephen Mount, and we are underway. And finally, it's only taken me to now to call some hockey as we're heading toward the back end of December. I've been in a football mode for 4 months. Even the other football, the one that you like, that soccer game, been doing plenty of that. Down the left side into the Carmel zone it goes, back behind the cage. It'll bounce around into the right corner. So it'll take me a few minutes to get my hockey legs back underneath me, which is amazing since I can't skate. In the left corner it goes, spinning around, and back out come the Rams in the blue. They'll nudge it forward and send down the right side. The Indians will let that go by. Aiden Martin will go back and grab it. Martin, I explained last year when we did the Hockey Fights Cancer game, which we will also do next Friday night, Martin actually went to preschool with my son. Down the left side it goes into the Mahopac zone, sent right down. It'll go behind the net, played there by Matt LaFontaine, one of the captains, a senior forward for the Carmel Rams. They are decked out in an all-blue kit that has white on the numbers and a rounded style. They work in the Ram logo on the right shoulder and the left shoulder as well, and a Ram on the front of the jersey. Sharp red, white, and blue combo. And the Indians, as we said, in that they are the blue and gold and have been forever. Hit delivered out near the right point as Nick Biagini went flying down. Into the left corner it goes. Played back by the Rams. They'll bring it out with Jack Lagan. He is a junior. Down the right side, though, the Indians will pick that up with Chris Stiller. Far side, played out to neutral zone ice. No score, 15-15 remaining in the opening frame. This bounces right up into the cage of Michael Sotilli and turned right back around, and out it goes to neutral zone ice. Played by the Rams, lifted Stephen Mount, turned back around by the Indians, just nudged across the line, and down the right side chasing goes Ryan Carahar, sophomore for Mahopac. Nudged back toward the neutral zone. The Indians going from right to left in the opening frame, and an offside stops things. A chance to catch our breath with 14:50 to go in the opening frame. No score. Harold's enjoying his youth. You do better than Kiss. Come on.
I'm not a big Kiss fan.
I didn't think so. You do far better than that.
I don't think they'll be playing my music today.
Lemmy may have liked hockey. We don't know. Out to the neutral zone. It's played off the face-off, bouncing down into the Mahopac end, twisting back out. The Indians will grab it on the far side, taken by Nick Bricker. Bricker across the line, right circle, tries for a wrister, sends it on net, and the save made by McCullough. Into the right corner it goes, so McCullough stands up to his first play of the night. Still no score, 14-20 to go first period. Justin McCullough, one of 3 goalies that has played for Carmel so far. He is 0-1 on this season. No score, first period. Mahopac and Carmel played near side in the Ram zone. Rams nudge it back out. They'll start across with Stephen Mount. Mount sends into the slot. Backhander, nothing there. Unable to get anything on it was Murphy, the freshman. He had a good look right out in front.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pass. It just got behind him, tried to make a fancy play. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get anything towards the net.
Mount, a junior, one of the captains for Mike Chiaccia in his 5th year. And he's done a good job with this team. I know he sent you a bunch of notes before the game. He has gotten Carmel into some good places. They have a division championship in their past, so they've been doing some good things. They're just young right now.
Yeah, it's a fairly new team. I think that overall they may be out since 2001 or so. So they're a very young team, program. But they seem to be getting better and larger groups of kids trying out each year. So hopefully they'll be able to build on it.
Offside are the Rams as Alex Wood, the senior, stepped across. I'll give the DJ credit for some Rush. I'll say that. That's not bad.
All right, Rush is okay.
It's my first concert. September 1984. Face-off on the dot just outside of the Mahopac zone. No score. 13:09 to go first period.
I was 3 when you saw them.
Yeah, nice try. You're at least a hair older than I am. Not much. Down the right side go the Indians. Backhanded. That'll go into the left corner. Played over out of the corner by Sotilli. Back out near the left point. Trying for a slap shot. Waiting there was Cooper Betancourt. Perched at the blue line. Wristed back out off the boards. And Betancourt will chase down into his end. An icing whistle with 12:44 to go. First period. Still no score.
Come on, dog.
Friends are texting me about the Steelers and Patriots. I don't want to know. Face-off to the right side of McCullough. Grabbed by the Indians as they won the face-off initially. Danny Schumann to play it. Got pronunciations before the game, at least on the Mahopac side. Everybody tried to help us with some notes, and this will come in great because this is game 1 of 2. This is why I wanted to do tonight's game as well. Sets us up nicely for next Friday for the rematch. In between, the Rams will play one game. They'll play Pauling during the week on Tuesday. Taken back behind the net by Sotilli for the Indians in the Ram zone, trying off the side of the net and trapped along there by McCullough. 12:10 to go in the first. Any feel for a pace early on?
I right now I'm very impressed with Carmel's transition game. They're getting the puck out of the zone, and I like they've had at least 2 odd man rushes that I've seen, and I think that bodes well for them to keep the puck out of their own zone, that's for sure.
Senior TJ McKee went for the face-off for the Indians against Brendan Murphy. This will go down into the Indian zone, and another icing gets whistled. 12:01 to go in the first, but no flow yet.
Not yet. I think these teams are feeling each other out. They've had a lot of games so far that really haven't been meaningful games, even though, Mahopac being 6-0 and Carmel being 2-3, they haven't played high-intensity games.
And I thought you brought up a good point that I'll try to get to on why these schools are probably the best rivalry in Section 1. Because I'm sure there are those going, wait a minute, Rye Harrison, since the 1920s, football is fierce. Come back to it. Here's McKee across the line. McKee out in the slot, goes to the left circle. Backhander, puts it right behind the net. Tries to grab it, bounces it off. Trying it in the slot and missing on it was Martin. Kept back in at the left point by Stiller. So the Indians with a good rush there, but down it goes into the pack zone, and it'll be left behind by McDougal.
Yeah, it looked like Carmel was looking for a tripping penalty on that. I don't necessarily know if it was incidental or not.
The gentlemen on the ice are letting them play early on. In the Mahopac zone, it'll come back out with the pack. It's O'Shea to bring it across the line. Stick handling, tries to get around the man, leaves it in the slot, gets it right down on the net, goes back behind the cage with McKee. McKee with a backhander, right on the doorstep, couple of pokes and they score. The Indians get it started. Who else? Brian O'Shea, 1-0.
Yeah, that was an accident waiting to happen. When you watch them come in, they've been coming in with a little bit of numbers, a little bit of force, and on that one, McCullough actually made a couple of really nice saves. The puck just kept sticking around the net, and unfortunately, he was able to just jam home the puck to score.
I'm still getting used to the 17-minute periods to tell myself the time of the goal.
I was going to tell you that we're at the 15-minute mark. I was like, wow, it's now the game's starting, but it's already 2 minutes old.
Mahopac goal scored by team captain number 9, Brian O'Shea, assisted by number 26, John Dundon.
They only gave one assist, and that is to John Dundon. So, time of the goal, I have it as 5:54.
That works.
I still don't know in hockey why we don't have count up versus count down.
In international hockey, they used to do that.
Exactly.
So they also have the metric system, so what do they
So
know?
1-0 is the score. Mahopac takes the lead, and once again, it's just the scoring of O'Shea that has been so good. His 14th goal of the year.
Yeah, O'Shea knows how to put the puck in the net. And one of the things I'd like to mention before was McKee came in earlier, and he made a beautiful play, in and out play, and almost put the puck in the net. But McCullough made a really strong save on that. So those two players, the two captains, are really going to cause some headaches for Carmel if they don't control the play. Thank
you to my friend Eric Scholl for letting me know as a penalty is coming up here across the line. This gets sent wide into the right corner. I'll come back to Eric Scholl's note in a moment. Goes back behind the net, waiting for a Mahopac touch to the far side. Nope, they miss it there. Held in left point. Delayed call coming. This is back behind the net with the Indians trying for a touch there, and we get the penalty.
Luke Golisano came real close to scoring in that one with the delayed call. Unfortunately, I think it just went wide. I'm not quite sure why the whistle blew unless the net came off, because it looked like
that's the only thing I saw.
Yeah, Carmel was complaining about it, so it couldn't have been anything. It wasn't possession. It was definitely maybe just a loose, net comes off.
So a penalty at 7:04. And I believe, who do you have, Harold, on the number down below? I can't see. Now he got it.
It's
Betancourt.
Betancourt, yep.
All right, the good news from Eric Scholl that nobody will care about except me, Steelers beat the Patriots. So now the broadcast is official. That's what he said to me. Enjoy your broadcast. I'll enjoy it a lot more now. Steelers desperately needed that. They're still sorting something out on the ice. The Indians are ready to go. So are the Rams.
Oh, wait. Did they call? Oh, you know what? I didn't see Golisano out there. I was like, wait, it looked like it was 4-on-4.
It'll be LaFontaine for the Rams, rather, and I believe that's McKee going up for the Indians.
Maybe.
Well, he's staying there in the circle. Chris Stiller just got booted off.
Well, there's another penalty. That's why.
Oh, yep, it's up. I didn't see the indication, but you're right.
Yeah, it's 24. Nick Biagini.
Minor penalty assessed to Mahopac.
Nick Biagini goes in.
for delay of game.
So there was a delay of game and a trip.
Number 24,
Weird.
Biangini for tripping.
There you go.
So the delay of game must have come when he moved the net.
That must have been it.
But then why was the whistle blown?
I don't.
Well, he moved the net. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Yeah.
Back out to neutral zone ice it goes now. Played by Murphy for the Rams. It's a 1-0 lead for Mahopac with all that, and now a 5-on-3 for Carmel.
This is a great opportunity for Carmel to put the puck. Unfortunately, that was not what they wanted to do.
Not what they wanted at all. You cannot commit an offside on a 5-on-3. That's like a cardinal sin.
Yeah. Well, the only other big change that was mentioned today is, well, these are 2-minute penalties.
Yes.
So they actually looks like 45 seconds expired, but
you wish we could reach a point where there are like national rules that everybody sticks to, but that's just not the case. Down the left side it goes McKee. Go ahead, Harry.
No, I was going to say, I wish they would just play the 20. I mean, what's the big deal? These kids,
at that point.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing 17 now. You're playing 2-minute penalties.
Fed across to the right side. Into the circle it goes. Turned right back around by the Indians and able to clear it out is McKee. So chasing down goes Murphy. Left aside in the corner by McCullough. 45 remaining in this 5-on-3 that so far has not quite gone Carmel's way. The Rams will start back out in the blue with the red and white. Get out to center with Murphy. Murphy nearly had it taken away by Bricker. Rams trying to get into the Mahopac zone. They do. Across with Golisano. Into the right corner goes Sotilli. 20 remaining on this power play that has maybe one shot on net in a 5-on-3, and that's being polite.
Yeah, I think they have one shot towards net. I don't think it actually went on net. Unless you count one of the early on, very early on, it might have been. But
down it goes into the Carmel zone. The Rams with maybe one last try. Stiller comes out. Stiller across the line. Feeds it over. Right circle. In the circle. Pad save. Second try, and they score. Right as the penalty expires out of the left corner, Carmel ties it at 1.
And that's a big goal for Carmel. That, it's disheartening when you have a really, I'll call it inconsistent power play when 5-on-3. So to be able to score at the expiration of the power play, at least they took something really good out of it.
Might have missed it by a second or two. There were a few seconds past the end of the power play, but
as one of the great announcers, Jack Edwards says, the dangerous minute. That's a dangerous time right after that penalty is over, the next minute.
Jack Edwards, who we can all, I think, agree, is certifiable.
He's crazy. That's why I love him.
I actually had the fun of exchanging text messages with Jack one day, a couple of years ago. What a bizarre moment that was. So that was Alex Wood from Jack Logan. And it's a 1-1 game. Not a power play goal, but still we're tied at 1. And a chant of Let's Go Carmel goes up from the student cheering section to our left. Looks like they're mostly trying for a bit of a blackout from Mahopac. At least that's what I see so far. Here comes the pack. Left behind, they'll take the lead. Right out in front, it's TJ McKee. It's 2-1 Indians.
Well, that's the second head of the two-headed Hydra there. You knew that they were going to get some shots. And that was also within the dangerous minute. So, unfortunately, that was for Carmel. They needed to kind of lock that down, scoring a goal, and they allowed Mahopac to come in with numbers and speed, and sure enough, you don't want McKee to do it.
You can't let Mahopac score 35 seconds later. You built some momentum there. You can't let it happen. It's a 2-1 game.
Mahopac goal scored by number 71, TJ McKee. Assisted by number 9, Brian O'Shea.
And Brian O'Shea just adds.
56, John Dundon.
And John Dundon with his second assist of the night. So the Indians up 1 now at 2-1. Here come the Rams, though, in the right circle, trying something. They're unable to get anything on it. Now an open net to shoot at. Hits the pipe. Comes back into the left circle. Waiting there is Langen. Down it goes. This bounces off of the glass into the right corner. Taken by Santoriella for the Indians. One of my pronunciations I was working on before the game. Indians bring it back with McKee. He sends it up off the glass, back behind the net. On there to grab is O'Shea. That top line doing such good work. McKee Right circle, turning around, slot right out in front. Couple of saves made. McCullough, and they look like the official lost track of the puck. Whistle gets blown, play stops, 2-1, 6:22 to go in the first.
And O'Shea was standing there by himself.
He was.
He could have written his memoirs, and he had that much time. Unfortunately for O'Shea, he didn't get the puck in time. But when he did...
I once said a wide receiver was so open he could eat a sandwich and catch a touchdown. It got me a little fame. Yours works as well. Write his memoirs. Down the right side, Mahopac wins the faceoff into the right corner. Indians lead now 2-1 on top of the Carmel Rams. 6:12 to go. Our first winter broadcast of the year, and the Rams bring it back in a 2-on-1 across the line. Slap shot, pad save made by McDougal. Sends to the far side, held in, left point. Robert Paradiso, sophomore defenseman for the Rams. They send down into the right corner, back behind the cage now with Murphy, the freshman. Left corner, Indians trying to clear, can't do it. Held in. Rams have got it in the left circle, just trying to work it through. It'll be taken back behind by Mount. Mount goes behind the cage, off to the near side at the hash marks, left behind. Mount sends over all the way across ice, bounces down, deflects in and scores. It's a tie game, and it looks like it's a little touch by Murphy to make it 2-2.
Well, Carmel is definitely playing a little more up-tempo now, giving up 2 goals, fairly quickly, but then turning around and scoring now. I've been impressed so far with Carmel's resiliency, because Mahopac is a strong offensive team, and Carmel, again, almost went in, well, they did go in on a 2-on-1. That's their third or fourth odd man break, so I think if Carmel pays attention, they might be able to sneak something by them.
So a 2-2 game. As the Indians will send down, here's the announcement of the goal. And it was Murphy.
Assisted by number 3, Robert Paradiso.
And Paradiso does get the assist.
Yeah, he was the one who took the shot, so it was deflected on the way in. So that was a really good play. And one of the things I wanted to mention before that was that pass that went back to Paradiso. I didn't see who, I guess they didn't count that as a pass, but it went back to Paradiso, who it went right past the Mahopac player. Otherwise, it would have been an odd man break for them. So it was a perfect pass. I don't know if it was more luck than skill, but it was definitely.
So a new game, not at a 2, as this bounces down to McDougal. Kind of got underneath his stick, then pinballed off the right pad, and he was able to jump on top of it. So a little ice baby here, some trouble early on. 5:07 to go in the first, 2-2.
Yeah, and the other thing to think about with Mahopac is they haven't really been challenged all that much. So you wonder, how much they defensive playing time they've had to have when you're scoring 8 goals a game.
McKee and Murphy on for the face-off. Puck goes to the far side boards, back out to center, sent across the line by Gavin Golisano, the junior for the Carmel Rams. 2-2 the score here at the Brewster Ice Arena. Rob and Harold and you, Sunday night. It's a little unusual in my world to do a Sunday game as Murphy goes down into the left circle, sent down on net, and they score again.
That was a thing of beauty. What a great pass. And who scored? Luke Golisano put the puck in the net, but that pass was absolutely perfect.
Golisano went top shelf to make it 3-2 as the Rams grabbed their first lead of the night.
Well, now this is going to be interesting. If Carmel comes back, I would put out a defensive-minded scheme here. Do not allow Mahopac to get another 35-second goal following yours.
I'm not sure I brought enough scorecards for tonight. So it's Luke Golisano, as Harold said. And Brendan Murphy having a game as well. He gets the assist. And all the action sitting down in the Mahopac zone. So good job by the Rams as they attack. Rams will try to take it back into the Mahopac zone now and settle things down with Gavin Golisano. Sends it around to the far side boards. Still just first period, so a lot of hockey remaining in this game. Right corner, played back by Graham Ludwig, the sophomore. Left behind, it'll go into the right circle. Chasing in and then nudge back out to center as Mount grabs. Mount feeds across toward Murphy. Murphy will watch it bounce off the near side boards, right boards into the corner. Mahopac takes it away, though, with Santoriella. A 3-2 Carmel lead, 3:40 to go in the opening stanza on this Sunday night. I started to say, I don't do a lot of Sunday games. This is one of them.
Yeah, that's why I said it was Friday.
I know, it's weird. But you play them when you can in Section 1. Across the line, the Indians bring it back with Shum down the right side. A nudge there as along, I believe, came Betancourt, and that was the case. You would have thought as the Indians had that 5-on-3 that they killed off, it would really work in their favor, but things have kind of gone south since that point. Heading into the right corner, it's Robert Paradiso to blast it back toward the far side boards. 3-2, Carmel on top. 3:05 remaining, first period. Waiting and across the line comes Zach Rubin. Rubin for the Rams, but taken away from him by Nick Bricker for the Indians. To the far side it goes. Sotilli lost his stick as he took a check on the far boards, so it comes back out to center, and the Rams will regroup. 2:47 to go in a fairly interesting period number 1. One that we didn't think had much of a rhythm, and it still doesn't. It's just got a lot of goals.
And it's got a lot of great plays. I mean, we've seen a lot.
Through traffic, and look, they've scored again. It's the Rams. It's Jack Ling, and it's 4-2.
Okay, I'll be the first to admit I didn't see that coming. But I think right now Carmel's playing with a little more intensity than Mahopac. I don't know if Mahopac is... I haven't seen them play this year, so I can't tell you whether or not they tend to get a little sluggish early on in the first period, but they're definitely allowing Carmel to bring it to them multiple times. They're coming in odd man, and if you watch, Rob, they're going to keep a forward in between the two defensemen. They've been splitting them all period.
Martin and McKee came together for the Indians back at the blue line. They were chatting, but no time to panic yet. It's Jack Lagan.
Alex Wood.
And Alex Wood gets the assist.
Listen, when you score 8 goals average a game, you're not worrying about it right now.
4-2, 2:10 in the first period. No time to panic yet. Indians get it back. They had it in the slot with O'Shea. Sent down. This goes right over the crossbar. That was dangerous.
That was deflected.
It sure was.
McCullough went down and it went over his shoulder.
Stiller grabs right at center ice, brought across the line by O'Shea. O'Shea into the slot, dancing, backhanded. Didn't get a lot on it. Off to the far side it goes with McKee. TJ McKee for the Indians. Now right onto the backhander. A couple of tries, and the whistle off the save. Justin McCullough with a good one.
That was a good save. And again, the O'Shea-McKee line, they dominate when they get the puck. So Carmel's got to figure them out, or this is they're going to come back real fast. All it's going to take is one quick goal, and it's a 1-goal game, and it's way early in the game to be worrying about shutdown.
99 seconds remaining, first period. Face off to the right side of McCullough. We keep talking about it. There's just has not been a chance to find any kind of rhythm in this game so far. Left corner, McKee out in front, had a backhander, brings it across through the crease. It'll be taken by Murphy. His backhander comes all the way out to neutral zone ice. Trying to play it for the Indians was Betancourt, but it gets charged across and into the Mahopac zone. Lifted all the way to center, bounces with a couple of bounces. It's taken away by Chris Chichera, the junior defenseman. That's the one name on this roster, with all due respect to Carmel. I apologize if I'm saying that one wrong. I didn't get a pronunciation. Left circle, off the pipe it goes, tried over there by McKee. To the near side for the Indians. 1 minute remaining, first period. Looking forward to catching our breath. This gets lifted back out the center, and a whistle stops play. An Indian down on the ice. That's why they blew the whistle. I believe it's Betancourt.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that. Unfortunately, it's on that odd side where I can't get on the camera.
Yeah, so. You and I each have a spot where we kind of lose the view from this, the tower, as they call it. Right now, it's Betancourt, and he's just laying on the ice. The trainer comes over. TJ McKee, of course, as a captain, stays right there as well. And then out comes head coach Tim Donaghy. And I love the fact, and I know this is his tradition. He's a hockey coach. It is December. This is ice. And he's wearing shorts and flip-flops.
Well,
but I know that's his tradition.
I'm impressed anyway, because his feet are probably freezing right now as he's standing on the ice. But I really hope Betancourt's... he doesn't look like he's feeling too well right now. I don't know if he got a high hit or not, but I hate to speculate, but he's laying there. He's lifting his head, so yes. That's a good sign.
Yeah, the helmet is off. He's lifting his head. They are tending to him. The Mahopac assistant coach, good friend Sean McGee, who I've gotten to know quite well. He's also a baseball assistant. as Betancourt now makes his way up to his knees, raises his head, so these are good signs, obviously. I had a lot of fun covering Mahopac baseball back in the spring as Betancourt makes his way up to his skates, stands up, overcomes Luke Golisano to pat him on the back and just see if he needs any help. And he's skating under his own power, so you hope that's just wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, he's feeling it, definitely. But if they're not sending him to the locker room, then it might have just been wind knocked out versus, a high head injury.
Right, because anything involving the head, he's going to go off.
He's got to go off, right. So that's good. He might have gotten, around that side of the boards, you not get the wind knocked out from you, get hit the boards.
Yeah, you bounce off the boards, right. So that's all good, and they bring the face-off back out to center ice. With 50 seconds remaining, he can go off and get his thoughts together in between the first and second period. Assuming they will actually make ice in between. I'm not sure they will bring the Zamboni out. They don't always. Down the left side goes Bricker for the Indians. Bricker into the left corner. He's got Gavin Golisano on him with 35 remaining in a 4-2 game. Carmel on top here in what's a little bit of a surprise. But remember, it's a rivalry, so these things do happen. Left corner, Sotilli for the Indians. There is Murphy for the Rams. Murphy in the left corner, sends to the far side. This is in the Ram zone with 19 seconds remaining in period number 1, 4-2 Carmel. Played back out. This will get across and down into the Mahopac zone. Chasing with a head of steam goes Mount. Mountain to the right corner. He's got Martin on him, back behind the cage. Tries the backhander off the side of the cage. Pushed aside. It's out in front, but it goes to the far side with 2 and 1, and the period comes to an end.
That was definitely interesting.
That was a period.
You know what? There was a lot of good things out of this game so far, and I got to be honest. I didn't think it was the flow was there, but maybe the fact that these two teams, there's a rivalry, and they're going to play a little extra hard. There's a pretty decent crowd. I think that could basically amp up both teams, and sometimes that can make a team that technically is a better team a little tighter because it's almost like they're expecting to win. Where Carmel's like, hey, you know what? How great would it be if we ruin their undefeated season? So motivation is definitely there for Carmel, but Mahopac's going to be thinking the same thing. They don't want to give up a goal, a game to Carmel, especially the dreaded rivals. So I see it right now. I'd be interested to see what happens in the second period and whether or not there's a change. As I wanted to mention before, the way that Carmel's playing, if you watch, they put one of their players up high, and when Mahopac was coming in, they were almost playing, I guess in the soccer analogy, it's like a 1-1-3. So they split their defense, and Carmel's putting somebody there, and they're passing the puck past the first defenseman, and it's getting to that second defenseman, getting to a one-on-one with the second defenseman. And right now, Carmel's offense, their forwards are skating well, and by evidence, Mount on that last play late in the period, he could have just eased up a little bit. It was coming late, and he came all the way down, and I don't know if it was going to be an icing, but he made sure it wasn't an icing, and they wound up with a shot on goal.
You were doing so well, now I got to talk again as I was trying to type a tweet. So 4-2 after 1. They are not going to bring the Zamboni out. Okay, I feel better. I've got the tweet out. Just so everybody knows that we're live. Oh, boy. Or not. The tweet didn't work.
Oh, are we live?
No, we're live. People are listening. I promise.
Am I alive? That's what I like to know.
Second period underway. The point I was going to make earlier about best rivalry, one thing about Rye Harrison, they play some sports as a co-op.
In hockey, they
including
don't.
Hockey. That's my exact point. Mahopac and Carmel, oh no. No. Even Darien New Canaan in Connecticut, the Connecticut folks like to say, oh, well, we're such great rivals. Well, at least in Legion baseball, they play together. Not here.
Yeah.
I've lived in both towns. I know the drill.
The closest that you'll see is in soccer. A lot of girls from Mahopac play on premier level teams with girls from Carmel. So there is that. But once
That's true.
Once the school uniform comes on, there is no sharing of teams or.
As the Rams tried to come across the line, they were whistled offside. Matt LaFontaine committed the fracas, if you will.
So tell me,
yes,
if Matt LaFontaine scores, and now it's close to the holiday, are we going to get a Rick Jenneret fa la 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 LaFontaine?
You know, as beloved as he is, at least in parts of New York, you've taught me differently.
Not a fan.
I will, just off May Day, I can't do it. I know that kills you. Far boards with Golisano. Back come the Rams. They lead 4-2. Across the line into the Indian zone. Shot on net committed out of the right circle by Lagan as it goes to the far side, and the save made by McDougal. McDougal looked a little shaky for a stretch there in period one. Shots were 11-10 in favor of the Rams. To the neutral zone, a backhander goes across by Sotilli down the left side, left over there for Bricker. Mahopac, and no need to panic, so much game to play. Remember, 17-minute periods here in New York, so not much to worry about just yet. But as this goes wide off a backhander by LaFontaine, you can't let this get out of control as the puck gets stopped down in the Mahopac zone.
Yeah, at this start, the period started basically exactly the same way the first period was. A little bit choppy, but I do think that Carmel has been taking play to Mahopac a little more than I would have anticipated going into this game. And I don't know if it's necessarily the way Carmel plays, or if it's just that Mahopac hasn't really found its rhythm yet.
Stiller for the Indians takes it back in his own zone, tries to feed it. It comes to the near sideboards, looking to clear it out, but turned over and taken by the Rams. Paradiso goes into the slot now. Waiting there was Luke Golisano. He has one of the goals in this game. Indians bring it back. They've got a 3-on-0 if they can get across the line. The Rams do come down into the circle, into the slot. Save made off the first try. A couple tries out in front, McKee, and there's a whistle. They blow the whistle.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why, to be honest with you.
I don't know why either. I mean, they had control of the puck. They were moving the puck. Carmel was kind of scrambling. I don't know if the ref lost sight of the puck or if it was.
That's what they're taught when they lose sight.
It might have been a hand pass because he's bringing the puck outside.
He's explaining to the Mahopac bench. Or should I say Tim Donaghy is getting his 2 cents in.
Yeah, the only way it would come out is if it was...
right.
Yeah, a hand pass. Penalty, maybe. Yeah. Well, that's going to be maybe an unsportsmanlike.
Yep, you got it. I heard him say it right down below. The Indians can't afford to make those kinds of mistakes now.
Now they're starting to let some frustration creep in there. Again, I think they're too good of a team to let that bother them. But at this point, you know what? You don't want to risk it slipping away from you either. And, a 3-goal game, not impossible to overcome for a team like Mahopac, but you don't want to do it. You want to make sure you start playing your style of hockey.
So McKee and a captain getting an unsportsmanlike. You don't like that. Here come the Indians. Sent down on net, and they score shorthanded. It's O'Shea to make it 4-3.
And there you go. Because everything I just said, out the window.
So what did we learn here?
We learned that Mahopac is dangerous at any time of the game. And we also know that, again, O'Shea, you cannot allow him time and space to get a shot on net. Was that a savable play? Yes, but you're on the power play. You got to start controlling you got to control the puck.
So that one comes at 2:31, and the Indians have cut it to 4-3. It gets tough to hear yourself think sometimes. Martin gets an assist, and it's a 4-3 game. Puck comes down into the Mahopac zone. 4-3 Carmel. 1:20 remaining on the McKee unsportsmanlike as it goes down into the right corner. The Indians will grab it with Stiller. Stiller has it redirect as he spins and dipsy doodles. Back out to center it goes. And a spin around there by Murphy. Murphy waits to get across the line. He goes far boards. right side, feeds it across, waiting all alone left circle, left behind in that left circle for Chichera as it goes down, grabbed once again, top of the left circle, wrister over, and a nice feed to Wood, but he just couldn't poke it home. Right side over there for O'Shea, and O'Shea gets it back out to center. 13:25 to go second period, 4-3 the score, 40 remaining on the power play. Across the line, feeding, Wood waiting, watches that get away, comes over to the near sideboards. Brendan Murphy there for Carmel in the left circle, and the Indians grab it right out in front of the net. They clear it. It'll bounce all the way down. Icing, of course, waved off. 20 seconds remaining on the power play. About the only other worst thing you can do on a power play than go off sides is somehow commit an icing, which is next to impossible to do on a power play.
It's never impossible.
That is true. Near side it goes. 5 remaining on it. Rams might be able to get something across the line. They do, but the power play comes to an end. No damage done, so each team has come up empty. Carmel has come up empty on the man advantage because Mahopac has yet to grab a power play. Far side boards, 12.5 remaining, second period. Bring it back the other way with the Indians. Bricker out to center. Bricker then sent down, waiting right at the Carmel blue line. Taken away again. Carmel playing really aggressively. Pasquale Fata gets it across the line and sends it to the far boards. On comes Graham Ludwig. He keeps it the right corner. Across it goes, and out to center, nudged across, and held at the left circle. For Carmel, they'll bring it back the other way, and a whistle will stop us with 11:59 to go, second period.
Well, I will tell you, Gavin Golisano made a beautiful play coming in there, because that was a dangerous play developing for Mahopac. And watching that play, he was just able to poke the stick out and get the puck away. Otherwise, that could have been an odd man rush for Mahopac.
Face-off will go to the left side as we skate at even strength. For Mahopac, it's Brian O'Shea for the draw. Murphy on for the Rams. Goes behind the net, played by Martin over to the near side. Grabbed by the Indians in the Mahopac zone, but the Rams take it away, left corner with Stephen Mount. Goes back behind the net with Martin. Martin to the far side, bounces it off the cage, or rather off the boards, and across the line into the Ram zone. Sent out to center in the neutral zone, nudged forward by the Indians and Ryan Carraher. 4-3 game, Carmel on top, wrister right circle, Mount. Mount goes into the corner. O'Shea to the far side in the Indian zone, tries to get it out, nothing doing, turned right back around by Mount. Mount sends to the near circle, taken away and sent out of the zone by Santoriella, and a whistle stops things, and here comes a penalty.
That'll be on Carmel, and I think that'll be on number 11. Luke Golisano.
And I believe you are correct.
Chuck a puck between period 2 and 3. Chuck a puck today.
Check an elbow.
Your favorite number at Chuck a puck. Contest will be between periods 2 and 3.
So that will come at 5:47.
It was either an elbow or high stick because he had his arm up. I couldn't really see the bottom part of his arm.
Good thing is the PA has done a solid job on announcements.
Number 11, Luke Golisano. For elbowing.
It is an elbow. See, you had it. Looking for a wraparound. It's the Indians off to the far side of the cage with McKee right out in front, sent wide, and another whistle.
Wow.
Right
that
out
was off
in front.
again.
Yep. Boy, they're going to mount them a little better here.
Yeah, I tell you, Nick Bricker had a great chance to put it on net. It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have counted anyway. But that was a perfect opportunity for them. And it looked like Mahopac must have knocked the puck, the net off because they moved it outside the zone.
I see that. Right circle, Bricker. McKee coming down into the corner. Sends it back along the near boards. Betancourt back on. Obviously a great sign. Down it goes into the slot. So that all but confirms what we thought as it's sent all the way down into the Mahopac zone. It's a power play for the Indians, their first of the night. It's got 1:20 remaining. We're in the second period, 4-3, Carmel on top. 10:25 remaining, second period. Here comes McKee. TJ McKee across the line, right circle, dances around the man, gets around Chichera, goes down into the right corner, cycles around, sent down, bouncer loose, wide score! And it looks like it is Bricker, because he had the ocean to shoot out before. This time he takes advantage and puts it home. 4-4.
Yep, that was It was a strange power play, but they had the puck. They were bringing the puck across. Again, it didn't really look like anything was going to happen, and sure enough, Bricker put it in. I was going to say, Coach Chacha, with the confidence in putting a freshman to penalty kill, I was looking at that Brendan Murphy was out there chasing, and he was doing a great job pressing them. But once they brought it in.
The PA, by the way, is very funny here. They start playing the music, so Harry and I have to lift our voices up, and then all of a sudden, we start talking much softer again. McKee got an assist. As down it goes into the Mahopac zone. Bricker gets it back. He brings it. The Indians going from left to right. He's in a 1-on-2. Gets across the line. Leaves it. Now sends it along through the circle. As chasing there was O'Shea. Into the right corner. O'Shea goes to the hash marks. Plays it along the boards. Just danced down with Betancourt from that right point. McKee over on the left boards. Heading toward the left corner. I was talking Mahopac baseball before. There was a finishing point I wanted to make on that. Left out in front, but a lot of traffic there. So taken right back. The Indians keep the pressure on. McKee, left boards, near the corner. He's got Murphy all over him. Two Rams actually join him in that conversation. Luke Golisano was one of them. Now along comes O'Shea. A 4-4 game, 9 minutes remaining in the second period. Back behind the net, sliding down goes Dundon. He and a Ram collided. That was Gavin Golisano, and the whistle blows and play stops.
Looks like he's going to call a trip on him.
Yep. And it's Gavin Golisano going off from the looks of it.
And this is what Carmel didn't want to have happen.
Was it a trip for sure?
I didn't see him below, but I saw him go to the leg. But again, I thought originally it was a boarding because it looked like he hit him on the boards.
Well, I heard your reaction. I went, uh-oh.
Yeah, because I saw it behind the net. It looked like he hit him.
Do we have a timeout? I see both teams coming to their benches, so I think we've got a timeout on the ice.
And interestingly, the score of 4-4 is usually the average of Carmel. They usually average 4 goals for, 4 goals against. So something's about to give, I have a feeling.
The history of these two teams, the Indians have won the last 4 going back to November 28th, 2015. That was a 5-0 Mahopac win. Then Mahopac won a few months later, 10-1. 2017, January 6th, Mahopac won 8-4. And then last year, January 26th, in the Hockey Fights Cancer game that Harold and I were here for, Mahopac won that game 8-3. Overall, Mahopac has a 5-1 advantage on their longtime rivals.
Yes, and at least this game, Carmel has scored 1 more than they did last game, so last time they played. But I also think that Carmel's played a lot better than they did last game.
Oh, I totally agree.
Minor penalty assessed to Carmel's number 15, Gavin Golisano, for tripping.
There you go. You know what you're talking about.
Fake it till you make it, baby.
We'll start calling you red light. As the puck goes out in front of the net, and they will stop play there, and it looks like they're throwing the face-off out of the zone.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what happened.
Nor am I. So they'll bring it to the dot, closer to the crowd across the way.
I say we just make up things right there and just say, yeah, it was a hand pass.
Sure. McKee and Murphy for the draw. Off the draw, it goes into the Mahopac zone. It'll be Betancourt to chase it. 1:40 remaining on the power play. A 4-4 game. Looked for a moment like Mahopac was starting to explode, and then Carmel really took a big lead in this game. Since then, the Indians have scored the last 2. Big lead meaning 4-2, but, you know, Mahopac can score. Here's McKee, left circle. Backhander feeds it across Betancourt near side. He backhands down the right side into the corner. McKee there. McKee sends right out in front, was looking for John Dundon. Dundon with a couple of assists on the night. To the neutral zone with O'Shea. O'Shea feeds near side. McKee gets across, goes to the left circle. In that left circle, he's chased over there by Chichera. Out of the left corner, goes back out just inside the left point. O'Shea to McKee. McKee, a wrister on net, and grabbed by McCullough. And the crowd says, what the heck?
Because it was loose. McCullough made a nice save, but it dropped right in front of his pads. And everybody saw it except the ref. And McCullough will be adding that ref to the Christmas card list right now, because I think he got away with a little gift there.
Mahopac baseball coach Mickey Lugbauer is here tonight as well. As I was speaking with Sean McKee before the game, he said, oh yeah, Mickey's over there. I just didn't have a chance to get over and say hello to him. Sean McKee's mom also works in the district, so she's here tonight also. I met her last baseball season. The McGee family losing Sean's dad back in baseball season, so there was some heavy hearts right when they had a key game on the season. Puck out in front of the net, and it's grabbed by McCullough with 7:26 to go. Second period, 29 remaining on the power play, and we're still tied at 4.
Yeah, McCullough made a nice play on that, because the puck went from one side to the other, and he slid, but he stayed in control. Worst thing can happen for a goalie when they come across like that. If they don't stay in control, they slide right past the opening of the net, and the puck winds up squeezing by, and that was a nice little save for him.
The press box for Mahopac baseball actually doubles as the coach's locker room, so it's fun to stand there and talk baseball with them. Chippin', it's right out in front, and turned around and sent down the other way. Had a good chance to get to know all the Mahopac baseball coaches, which was really a lot of fun for me back in the spring, and literally a 5-minute drive from my house, if that. Across the line, down comes O'Shea, right circle, feeds into the slot. It wasn't quite there. Waiting was Sotilli. Power play is expired. We skate even strength. 6:50 remaining. Second period, a 2-on-1 with a chance. It's Murphy, but the Indians able to close down on it, as I believe Betancourt was there to take him off the play. So Tilly also. 6:40 remaining in the period. 4-4, Carmel and Mahopac. To the near side boards it goes with just about 6.5 remaining. Back behind the net, taken by Sotilli. He goes to the far side, sends it back toward McKee. McKee grabs at the center ice line, feeds over near side, and the Rams will start back. Here's Murphy. Murphy into the circle. Murphy in the right circle. Gets it into the left circle, but unable to get anything on it. Taken away by Gavin Golisano. The Indians take it the other way with McKee. It's TJ McKee. Winds, fires, hits the post, goes far side. And a whistle stops everything. Martin colliding with the opposite 15, Gavin Golisano. They say some hellos to one another. Play stops, 4-4, 6:02, second period.
Yeah, that was a low bridge, high bridge. He got lucky. When I see that, I always cringe, because you don't know where the skates are going. But I want to say, one of the plays right before that, Mahopac came in, and I think it was Mount who he basically kept the puck from going in a wide open net.
Is that Betancourt that went off?
It looks like Betancourt, yep. 21. I don't know what the penalty is. If that was the play, maybe there was a little bit of a cross-check, high. I don't know.
Always grateful for a good PA, and they do a good job.
Yeah, they have been really good tonight. Oh, look at that.
Oh, and right off the face-off, a blast out of the right circle, and a power play goal makes it 5-4.
I believe that was Lagan. I'm not positive, but it looked like
I think you're right.
He just ripped that. He just ripped it.
A 3-second power play, and that's that. 5-4 Carmel.
Well, when you have a 5-on-3 and you don't get anything going on, and then the other penalty, they didn't really have much going on. I guess their plan was score fast. So right off the face-off, beautiful, beautiful shot.
So it's 5-4. PA will tell us everything that's going on.
Carmel's number 13, Jack Lagan.
And it's Lagan, his second.
24, Pasquale Fata.
And Pasquale Fata gets the assist. They never did announce the actual penalty on Betancourt, but it's all bookkeeping at that point. Minors basically are just bookkeeping in reality. Indians grab in the left circle, bounce it off the boards. Martin holds in at the left point. Trying to get it away from him was Lagan, but he missed on that. went down the left side, and a Ram able to swipe it away to the near side boards. Kept alive by Biagini as the sophomore sends down the right side into the Ram zone. 5-4 Carmel. Defense appearing to take the night off. We will see. Into the right corner, and the Rams able to clear. Martin will chase into his own zone. Martin to the far boards. Aiden Martin turns around, takes a look. He gets it back out of the zone. Gets chased by Brendan Murphy for the Rams. Into the neutral zone, lifted across. It'll bounce down as it got deflected off the fingertips of Robert Paradiso. Paradiso, a fairly tall target on the ice, and an icing stops play with 4:45 to go in the second.
Well, I was watching Ryan Carraher of Mahopac. He was kind of hiding in no man's land back there and was looking for a puck. If he would have got it, he would have went in all alone. I think he was a little frustrated by not getting it, but you buy your time. You tell your line mates, hey, heads up.
And then the PA turns off.
And then I stopped.
Can you tell we've known each other a few years, folks? Fed across to the near side. A career that began in broadcasting with corporate softball. Down the left side it goes Stephen Mount. Mount sends over. Good job by Betancourt to swipe it away. Back to the left point it goes. Held in Paradiso. Goes down the left side in the Mahopac zone. 4:19 remaining in the second period. It'll go to the far side where McKee comes along. McKee on the far boards. Gets it out of the Carmel end, rather out of the Mahopac end, as he skates from left to right. And his wrister goes down. A glove save made by McCullough. Justin McCullough looking confident.
Yeah, that was definitely a confident save. You know, when you can usually tell a goalie if they're a little shaky or they're a little questioning. They would just kind of slap the puck to the corner, but he just snapped it with his glove and just like, yeah, that's mine, I got it. It's a rare breed to be a goalie.
It is a rare breed. You would know. Harold not wanting to discuss his high school career any further. Here's O'Shea, right circle, feeds across. On net, and they score to tie it up. And they're saying, yes, sir.
The net moved, but it was going in anyway, so they're not going to call that.
There was a little hesitation, but McKee does it again, 5-5.
And for the record, in my high school career, I spent most of it on the bench, so I wouldn't really know. I'm still pulling the splinters out.
Keep in mind, I went to Mahopac and I was captain of the bowling team. Okay? For the late Dan Veglia, bless his soul, I miss that man. Back behind the net it goes. This comes down on net, and they will blow the whistle.
McKee, assisted by number 9, Brian O'Shea.
Brian O'Shea gets the assist, of course.
And that's where Mahopac starts to smell blood. After they scored that goal, they just put everybody. They had four players down there. They only have one D-man up high. They're just trying to put the puck in the net. They figure they have Carmel off balance a little bit. And McCullough has been coming up big. I mean, you know, give up 5 goals and say somebody has a good game. He's making a lot of saves.
Face off to the left side of Justin McCullough.
And I would say that McCullough may have had, I would say, if there's going to be one or possibly 2, what I would deem fairly weak. Otherwise, there was unstoppable goals, some of them.
They will blow the play dead again right to the side of the Carmel net.
It's the same call all the time. Yeah. I just don't know what that call is. It has to be the net. Somebody's running into the net.
It's got to be, because I saw no hand pass or anything close.
Exactly.
So I agree with you. I think it's a call of Mahopac, or Carmel in this case, moving the net.
Well, if it was Carmel moving the net,
well, that's
they would have
true.
kept it in
It's
there.
Mahopac in this case, yeah.
Yeah.
I was right the first time. 3:15 remaining second period, now 5-5. This is a game that has been all over the place. 1-0 Mahopac, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 4-2. Carmel 4-2 at that point, and Mahopac has chased back to 4-4 and now 5-5. As a face-off will come out of the zone again. It'll go to the dot to the far side. TJ McKee, the super senior, awaits. And it'll be Murphy, who has been strong as a freshman and been on virtually all of the Carmel face-offs. Mahopac does get the win, though. Into the left corner it goes with Bricker back behind the net. Bricker will take it. Bottom of the circle. O'Shea off to the side of the net, heading toward the left corner. Bricker trying a backhander. Taken away from him by Paradiso. They'll go to the far side. O'Shea there. O'Shea left circle. O'Shea near the slot. Back behind the net, McKee. McKee, backhander to the right circle. Now grabbed on the forehand. Back behind the net with McKee. And the Rams will start back out from right to left. Across the line, Mount. Mount sends on net. Right off the body it goes. A little blocker save by McDougal. Haven't called McDougal's name a lot in this period. And the whistle stops. 5-5, 2:14 remaining in the period. We've got a corner, so play will stop to tend to whomever that is. And notice in Section 1, you cannot simply say one gender or the other, politics aside. It's coeducational.
Exactly.
So you can't just say, he's down in the corner. We don't know who it is.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. I did see it was along the boards, so I think it was just it could be another one of those, the dasher hitting your chest, because I'm not seeing anything. Moving his legs, their legs.
And to further that point, super goalie last year for Carmel, Willow Barnes, doesn't play like a girl. She is a girl, and she played great.
Yeah, Willow was probably one of the better players for Carmel last year, and we watched her even in that 8-3 game. She still looked awfully good. Yeah, she made a couple of really big saves, and I think the one thing that Carmel has, and you mentioned it earlier, is they have 3 goalies, but they're fairly young, and that looks like Golisano.
Yes, it's Luke Golisano, who is sitting up now in the left corner. Mike Chacha, the head coach down there.
Yeah, I mean, even though a couple of injuries, this game has not been nasty. It's not to say that it won't get nasty, but it hasn't really been a nasty game. There hasn't been a lot of dirtiness, chippiness. I mean, I'm just there, McCullough came over, tapped him. He looks like he's okay. He just got shaken up a little bit. He's not going to the locker room, so that's always a positive sign.
2:14 remaining in the period. Yeah, good job by Logan McDougal to just skate over. Again, rivals, but good sportsmanship that I've seen tonight.
Yeah, very good. And it was the other way around, too. When the Mahopac player went down, a Carmel player went over to him to make sure he was okay. So,
I mean, there's that one super cross-country race runner for Carmel that's here tonight. Her sportsmanship a little sketchy, but everyone else is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. She takes after her mother.
That would be one Katie Turk, who's becoming a media superstar in her own right. Keeps getting her interviewed.
Yeah.
She's having some great success, though. I'm very happy for her. She's really done a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, she's enjoying it. She gave up soccer, so she's doing only track cross-country now.
Down the right side it goes into the Indian zone. 1:45 remaining in the period in a 5-5 game. Bouncing along, the Indians will take it back. McKee started it, gets it to O'Shea. O'Shea gets it out of the zone and played by Bricker in the neutral zone. He'll backhand over. To the far side it goes. It's McKee to bring it across. Check that. Make it Betancourt to bring it across the line. Goes down into the left corner. Betancourt chases. Held in at the left point by O'Shea. O'Shea takes it. Here's McKee. McKee top of the left circle. Now just skates along, sends down. That was kind of a flutter bomb that bounces over into the right corner. Bounces along the boards, held in right point. Right down it goes. Oh, that puck was loose off a deflection. A second try, looking to go top shelf with Bricker back behind it. Put it home, and it's a hat trick for T.J. McKee, and a hat hits the ice. 6-5 Mahopac.
Yeah, unfortunately for McCullough was made a couple of really nice saves, but the puck just wouldn't get out of the area. And once McKee gets that puck behind the net, he's able to basically get a prone McCullough on the ground and put it into an empty net. I question whether or not, or I shouldn't say I question, I would wonder whether or not the coaches would want to start putting somebody on him, on McKee, just to make sure that he doesn't have that kind of time and space without having somebody draped all over you.
So Mahopac regains the lead with 1 minute remaining in the period. We might just need an extra period to recap the scoring in this game tonight.
By number 71,
and an offside stops things. Fortunately, the one hat that did hit the ice got taken care of, by the way.
Everybody
sounds like there is no assist on that goal. 52.3 remaining. I'm just standing here thinking about it, and I don't know if it'll come to be. As Mount brings it across for the Rams with 45 remaining in the period. Wrists it down into the corner. I've used this style of score sheet essentially for about 20 years, and Carmel scores again.
In that dangerous minute, that's, you got to give credit to both teams. They're not quitting on the plays. They're making sure if you see a loose puck, just get to it, and good things can happen. I mean, I'm very impressed right now with the stick-to-itiveness of both teams and making sure, trying to put a puck in the net. So
couldn't tell if it was Murphy, but I think, and it is, it's Murphy for his second. LaFontaine gets an assist, and Paradiso gets his second assist of the night. Turned over, taken, Martin's got it in his own zone, tries to get it out, can't do it. Murphy takes it away. He'll chase down, right side into the corner. Betancourt over there for the Indians, 19 remaining in the period. Whatever point I was trying to make, I'll wait until the final 14 are over. Sent back out, it'll go off the boards and down for no icing. That's waved off behind the cage with Chichera down to 6 remaining in a 6-6 game. They just trap it up against the end boards with 1 remaining. The period mercifully comes to an end.
Oh, that was the first bit of nastiness I've seen.
Shots on goal, Mahopac 14.
Chichora kind of got in a little bit after the whistle blew, but that was.
So Mahopac has outshot the Rams 24-17 as they will skate off. I started to say, I've been using this style score sheet. I made it myself in like 1999, 2000 when I started calling games. I think I've had to go to a second page once. And I'm dangerously close tonight.
I think you might be. I mean, both teams are showing no signs of giving up on the offense. I think defense optional, yes, possibly, but I also think that the offenses for both teams are really just controlling play, and the defenses are not able to basically skate with the forwards coming in with speed. And it's on both sides. I mean, when you have O'Shea and McKee coming in, they can skate, they can stick handle, but then Carmel, I mean, I can't say enough good things about Murphy, the freshman. That kid is out there in
playing
clutch
great
situations. He's out there with killing penalties. He's out there, playing in the final minute of a period when you're down by a goal. Coach must have a lot of confidence in him.
Other than Ryan O'Connell, who's not playing tonight because of a shoulder injury, Murphy has been the other leading scorer with 10 points, 5 and 5, make it 7 and 5 now. He's played great. He really has.
Right, and you know what? You're bringing up the fact that Carmel's, I would say, and the coach before the game said, they're missing Carmel's best offensive player. Well, with 6 goals, could you imagine if Carmel's best offensive player was out there? So, I mean, they're definitely picking it up. And I would say that, and again, I want to look at the scoring, but I think it seems to be more distributed with Carmel than it is with Mahopac, where it's still basically McKee and O'Shea.
Yeah, yep.
And again, it's not that that's a bad thing, because they're putting the puck in the net.
So I'm trying to remember that other game I'm thinking of as they do chuck a puck here was a 24-1 pasting. And maybe you were on that call. There was a brief time you were doing games with me in the early 2000s.
I was not on that one.
24-1 Greenwich beat Brian McMahon out of Norwalk. It was a rough night.
I don't remember. You know what? I'm thinking about it. I remember I had a game against McMahon. I know I did, but I don't remember there being 20 goals. But
you know me. I've got the whole list. I can find out if you were on that broadcast or not. 2 periods in the books. We're knotted at 6. And the only thing I can't figure out is whether or not Chuck a Puck will turn into try to hit the dopes in the press box.
Well, the good thing with my daughter is she really can't throw. So thank God for that, because I know she'd be aiming for me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. Looks like Chuck-a-Puck is over from the looks of it.
That's the winner right there.
There you go. There's your winner. We are filming once again, as we did last year. Of course, we're spoiling you at the same time because I'm not sure if we'll do, as many games as we might do. We may do a couple. I don't know if Harry can make it here for all of them and film, so don't get too used to it. I can do a lot of things on my own. I can't film at the same time.
Well, I'm having problems doing both myself. Every once in a while I'll be talking and I'm like, oh yeah, the camera's over that way.
I can barely walk and chew gum. So we can actually catch our breath for a couple of seconds. I do have some spots. We can maybe just kind of pull it back together, give you a chance to stop talking, and give me a chance as well. After 2, as they bring the Zambonis out, 6-6, Mahopac and Carmel. Harold and I back in a little bit at the Brewster Ice Arena. Stick around. You're listening to Mahopac Carmel on Robcasting Radio. Cancer research and everything that goes into that. And these are teams that have good minds. I know we were talking about Carmel before the game. Some of the work they're doing with soldiers overseas. Really great stuff, Harold.
Yeah, that's right. As a matter of fact, the coaches were telling us about that, and they've been sending packages over and good notes over to the soldiers overseas. And I know he mentioned somebody who you said was a Mahopac. Was he a Mahopac student?
Yeah, he started it. It's Luth Rathschmidt. He's from Mahopac.
I let you say that name. Notice I was like...
Well, you got to learn how to say the Mahopac guys. That's all. He was stationed at Fort Bragg just outside of Fayetteville, North Carolina, which I've actually been to. My niece's husband, Hector, was there for a while and still can go on base and all, still part of the guard and everything. And Luke Rathschmidt was part of the very prestigious 82nd Airborne Division, which is a really big deal. Fort Bragg's an interesting place. Major League Baseball erected a temporary stadium for one game. I got to actually see that site, and then they took it down and made it into basically a playground. So Fort Bragg's a fascinating place. But the bigger thing is Luke created United for the Troops, and all that does is it sends kind of basic necessities for those who don't get, there are always the care packages that get sent by the moms, the dads, the families. Well, there are those who don't get those. And United for the Troops just gets them the basic amenities, which is a really good thing. It's a little thing that goes a long way.
Yeah, and I saw on Facebook, I believe, it was one of the Facebook posts or Twitter that was forwarded from the Carmel athletic director, Sue Zule, stating, they get the letters from the servicemen and women over there and how much they appreciate it, because it is something, even if they're not necessarily overseas fighting, and they say they're stationed overseas, they miss everything from home. And so getting something that's, from home, and it's from somebody who's sending it for a good reason, not just sending it like, oh yeah, we have to write a letter, and so it's kind of nice that they get that, and I know they were very appreciative of it.
Former Carmel assistant James Teets actually is stationed in the Middle East.
That's right, yeah. As a matter of fact, there were a few graduates from 2018, I know, that are involved. I know Brandon Villegas. He's I think he's at right now Fort Bragg. I know he's in North Carolina somewhere, and I want to say he's 82nd Airborne. Because I was speaking with him recently, and he was telling me how he's jumping out of planes, and I was like, how many jumps? He's like, oh, I don't know, like 40 I've done already, or whatever. I'm like, you were crazy when I watched you run cross country and track. You're really crazy now. And he's like, no, it's a lot of fun. I'm like, yeah, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I'm good. Shoot video on a GoPro. I'll get the experience.
I usually say youth is wasted on the young, but not in that case.
Not in that case.
You knock yourself out with that.
So, great job. Not trying to be trite, but, this is a whole different kind of war, and it's easy to forget sometimes. This isn't World War II, where that was a brief time of, 4 years when you think about it, compared to this. This is a whole different animal, so it's good to see that they're remembering everybody overseas.
Absolutely. And I think it's a great job. And I think both of these teams and both of these schools do a tremendous job, especially with honoring the veterans and honoring, all sorts of. If you looked at Carmel's football team when they came out, it was always very patriotic, very driven towards appreciating the servicemen and women. So I know Mahopac's done the same thing. It's great to watch, and you know what? It makes you proud that you're in this community.
These aren't necessarily just two-bedroom communities in the metro New York area. These are two very civic-minded, sometimes very blue-collar communities in Mahopac and Carmel. You know, my dad came here. My grandparents, my grandfather worked for AT&T. They lived in the Lake Secor portion of Mahopac when there originally was a beach community. So it was a summer community as the third period gets underway. And my grandfather, granted, Columbia graduate, different kind of man, but my father, blue collar, so just the way it goes. Down the right side, Betancourt for the Indians as we start the third period, knotted up at 6, 33 seconds gone by. What brought you up here? What made you and Tracy come up here?
I was working in Rybrook, and I couldn't afford Westchester taxes, so that's why we moved up here. But it was the best decision we made, and we love it here. Ironically, I was at a family for my uncle's.
Here's McKee.
Was it 80th birthday?
McKee with a backhander.
Off the face
Stopped by
mask.
McCullough. Yup. Off to the near side, Martin. Bring it back out through the neutral zone. Puck gets loose. Taken away by Bricker for the Indians. 6-6, 15:49 to go. I'll let Harold finish the point, but I thought I'd take the call back for a minute. Here's O'Shea right circle. Sends it down on net. And McCullough able to hold on.
McCullough made himself big on that play. Just to say, my aunt, actually from Texas, even though we were in Arizona for my uncle's 80th birthday, told me that her dad built a house in Lake Carmel. And I was like, what? So we spent all this time, and then she told me, oh, yeah, he built a house on Dicktown Road in Lake Carmel. And I've never heard of that road. And, of course, after being immature about it, we were laughing. But sure enough, I went there, and I found it. And I found the house that he built. So it was pretty cool.
It's in the Lake Carmel area?
Yeah, it's right off of
bounces off the boards, out the center. Go ahead.
Hillendale?
Really?
Yeah. It's one of those side streets.
And so many of the Lake Carmel, as icing is called, so many of the Lake Carmel streets are actually names of towns. There's a Mahopac Street, there's a Mahopac Avenue. There's, all different kinds.
Putnam Drive.
Drive, yep.
But it was so funny because I sent her a picture and she was so excited because she's like, oh my goodness, that's the house. I'm like, well, I guessed, because she said there was a concrete pillar in front and there weren't many of those.
And Lake Carmel, kind of a pre-thought-out community, if you will, from a whole different time. Puck is taken back down into the right corner. Dates back, I think, to the 20s or 30s. I've seen ads for it.
Was it discovered by the Germans?
In 1904. They called it Santiago. Back out to center with the Rams, who skate from left to right. Mount across the line. His mate is Golisano. This goes down into the left corner. That's Luke Golisano. Bounces off the boards, comes to the near side. Luke Golisano injured earlier in this game, so both of the injured players have come right back out on the ice. Good sign. And a good game, 6-6 through the neutral zone. Here's Murphy. Murphy been so good tonight. Puts on the brakes at the right point. Has it taken away from him, though. And scooting away with it is Sotilli, but taken away from him. So it'll be grabbed by Dundon. Dundon sends down into the Carmel zone. Tied at 6 with 14:10 remaining in the third period. Glad you're along for the ride tonight. Across the line. Bounced out of the Mahopac zone. Taken by the Rams. Carmel redirects. Sends it right down off the end boards. It'll be taken in the right circle. Grabbed by Matt LaFontaine. Skating over. Two players fall down in the slot. Skating away. It was Legan, who has 2 goals tonight. He and Bricker collided. Now McKee. He's got a hat trick. Throws it across into the Mahopac zone. The Indians will take it back. Skating out with Nick Biagini. 6-6 the score. 13.5 remaining. We're right back with you on Friday night. All things considered. Looking forward to it. We thought this tower was going to be filled with about 10 different people. I was expecting Dr. Joyce Brothers to show up, but not the case. It turned out to just be Harold and I. To the near side it comes as a collision between a couple of players, an Indian and a Ram, but play continues. Here's McKee in his own zone. Skates behind the net, works his way around a Ram, gets out of the zone, brings it across the line. Skating down, puck loose, goes to the backhand, and puts it home for number 4. score.
Well, there's not much to say about that one other than that was just dominance on that play. McKee just went, split the defense, and essentially went in on a kind of, basically I'll call it a mini break, because it was only about the last 30 feet. But he was able to deke and put the puck in the net.
Mahopac takes a 7-6 lead at 4:04 of the third period. That one will be fun when you get to see the video, because he just went coast to coast and then kind of knifed through a couple of Carmel defenders. What a job.
Yeah, that was an absolutely beautiful move.
71, TJ McKee, unassisted.
And an unassisted as it should be. Now they're looking for more through traffic. Can the Indians take control of this game? They are 6-0 on the year. Carmel at 2-3. Out of the zone it goes. We were unable to find out for sure if this is the actual league game or will Friday night be the league game. We're not sure. This might be the league game, just as with New Rochelle, who they played a couple of times already. One was a league game, one was not. Speaking of Mahopac, that is.
That's right. Oh,
off to the near side, spinning around. That was Fata colliding, I believe, with Martin as it came back out. The Indians have it with Shum across the line. Top of the left circle, feeds across right circle now. Wrister, that goes up over the crossbar. Bouncing along to the near side. Martin begins to backpedal on the back check with 12 minutes remaining in the third period. 7-6 Mahopac.
The hitting's starting to pick up a little bit. I think Fata got a little, he might have gotten away with a bit of a hold before, but, the refs have been letting them play, and you can't complain if he's letting them play.
Overall, there have been 6 penalties on the night, 4 of them on the Indians. Sent back out. This will go down into the Mahopac zone. Carmel had a 4-2 lead. Then they had leads of 5-4 and 6-5, but the Indians have responded. It's 7-6 now. Correction, I believe Mahopac had it at 6-5. There have been so many changes here, it's been hard to keep track of it. As this will go out of the rink into the netting. Stopping play with 11:20 to go.
Yeah, that last play, there was a deflection and went right over McCullough's head there. And I tell you, they're coming in. Mahopac's coming in now with numbers and confidence. And this is what you expect from a team that has, I'll call it tenured players that really can pick up their game. They're looking a lot stronger. Carmel's starting to run around a little bit. I don't know if it's because they are, tired or they're. The goalie's knee.
Yep.
Looks like he's took his.
So McKee, as a captain, skates right down and joins the conversation with Golisano and McCullough. And the official says,
"Yep,
go away."
But I also think he's saying to get a goalie out there. You're not.
Let's see what the Rams do.
It's a strange thing for a goalie to pull off their pads unless the strap broke.
So McCullough, and they're going to throw some pucks out, actually. So play stops with 11:20 to go.
Is that Megan Ravert coming in?
Right now it's, I think it's Megan Ravert. Yeah. So Megan Ravert will come on.
Now, I don't know if that was I think he had an equipment problem, and the ref is just like, take it to the bench.
Yeah.
You can't stand here, and we're not waiting all night. So it's unfortunate because McCullough's having a pretty good game, even though he's given up 7 goals. I mean, unfortunately, when you got a player like McKee and O'Shea coming in at you, they're going to put their 7 or 8 pucks in the net. But he made some big saves, kept them in the game. So I don't know if this will be a short stint or if Megan's going to wind up playing the rest of the game. So keep an eye on him to see if he's fixing his pads.
Megan Ravert is a junior. She is 1-1 in her appearances this year. And speaking with Mike Chacha, the head coach of the Rams, he's confident in the future of this team. They are young, but they're holding their own tonight at 7-6. They're down 1. It's the 4th year in a row that they've had to put an 8th grader on the squad.
Yeah, Carmel's an interesting team because they do have a lot of young players. They have 5 freshmen in this lineup and 1 8th grader. But unfortunately, they also have 12 juniors. So they got one more year with them and 3 seniors. So 15 upperclassmen.
So play resumes with a new netminder for the Rams. A deflected wrister out of the left circle from O'Shea as it goes to McKee in the right corner. McKee down on net, and it's O'Shea to finish. It's 8-6.
Well, there's the 8th goal that we predicted with their 8 goals against every as an average. Unfortunately for poor Megan Rayford on that, nobody's stopping that. It was a one-time pass, snapshot, put it right over the shoulder. And look, there was one shot, one goal, and unfortunately for her, she's out, but she was coming in. She was coming out anyway, I think. It had nothing to do with the play. It just
I don't think it had. I agree with you.
It was completely a pad thing. And unfortunately, though, she had to get that one shot at her.
Number 9, Brian O'Shea.
So and nobody would have stopped that one.
Number 71, TJ McKee, also assisted by number 6, Nick Bricker.
Nick Bricker gets an assist. McKee also an assist. He gets the primary assist. 10:35 to go. Mahopac puts a little space in at 8-6. The largest lead has been 2 tonight, as this will come down for an icing. Thanks to Craig Bricker, by the way. He's the one he and Sean McGee, who gave us so many great notes tonight. We're really grateful to both teams because, to an extent, Harold, we both live in these towns, but to an extent, we both were coming in a little cold tonight. So it's nice to have all these notes.
And you know what? I really appreciated the both programs really jumping in and helping us out with that. It was something that they didn't have to do, but I'm glad they did.
No, and believe me, not many teams do this. I've done this too long now. You don't always get such notes, so this was really fantastic. Sent right down the right wing side. You know, I've got the advantage of 20 years of calling Greenwich football, for instance, in Connecticut. That's a different story. I can do those games almost blind at times. Turned right back around by the Indians in the left circle, putting on the brakes. Greenwich will celebrate a state championship tomorrow, and hopefully I don't screw it up as the Master of Ceremonies. Fortunately, I have a little experience as Master of Ceremonies for sports banquets. Across the line into the right circle. I think Harold will give me a recommendation on that. Back out it comes, sent to the neutral zone ice. Waiting there is Dundon for the Indians. Hopefully you'll give me I don't know.
Nobody asked for my opinion.
I'm asking.
Oh, you were fantastic. You've always been a great MC.
But I got the job, but it's not too late for you to talk them out of it if I stink. Off to the near side it goes into the Indian zone. Play stops, 9:23 to go. Those were fun times.
I'm not one to talk about stinking, by the way, because I don't do this professionally. So, big surprise to everybody listening. Yes, this is not a professional job of mine.
8-6 Mahopac.
I just enjoy doing these games. I really have taken it. I've always been a huge hockey fan, and I love the rivalry from Carmel and Mahopac. So for me, this is like fun to be in.
To the right boards it goes, off the face-off. McKee there. And I've been dying to get out and do a winter game. All the football and soccer, I've been just waiting patiently to do some hockey and see if I've still got it. I'm still on the line about that. Mahopac will take it back into their own zone. Played there by Biagini, out to neutral zone ice. Here's O'Shea across the line, and offside's the call. 8:57 to go, 8-6 Indians.
I tell you, Rob, I would like to do a soccer game with you.
I would enjoy that, because I did, I think, 7 soccer games, including the Fairfield County Championship, all alone.
Yeah, that could be rough. I mean, there's no stoppage, so it's all talking all the time.
Yep.
Did you use a British accent? That's what I want to know.
No fancy call, nothing, nope, nothing that great. Here come the Indians back in a 2-on-1. It's McKee to O'Shea. O'Shea, the backhander, and the save made by McCullough. One of McCullough's better saves of the night. Ooh, big collision out at center ice, and that was just one of those minor infractions. There was nothing bad about it, but it is going to get whistled, as I believe it was Betancourt and Mount who just tripped each other, basically, and they will blow the whistle. It looks like Betancourt going to the sin bin for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, they're calling it a trip. They might have been able to call it an interference. It was
very incidental.
It was incidental,
but still a penalty.
That's why I thought it was more of an interference than a trip, because when you don't have the puck and that old wait 2 seconds before you hit someone, it's usually an interference. But I guess he went down. They called it a trip. Like you said, it's bookkeeping.
It really is.
Number 21, Cooper Betancourt. for tripping.
So a 2-minute penalty. To the far side it goes. Carmel on the power play. They're chasing 2 with 8:15 to go. Puck trickles down to McCullough. McCullough will leave it aside, the junior. It'll be taken behind the net, and Carmel will start back. The Rams in the blue with the red and white will skate from left to right. I suspect we will not see these colors next Friday night. Big hit by Martin along the boards on Mount.
That was a nice, clean hit.
That's Martin's best hit of the night. Down it goes to the other end, left aside by McCullough. Murphy comes along. One of these days I will get a chance to say hello to Aiden Martin, who, as I said, went to daycare with my son. And they were fairly close friends, but things happen. Sean in a different school district is now anyway. He's up in John Jay, up in Wappingers, and Aiden's still just a mile or so from the house in Mahopac.
And John Jay had a heck of a season in football this year.
They sure did. They had a nice ride. That was something else I was going to try to do. Here are the Indians coming back in a 2-on-1 shorthanded, waiting, Bricker, but it's McKee! Top shelf, right circle, goal number 5, shorthanded, 9-6 Mahopac.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about that one. You know, when he has the puck on his stick, he just releases. He's got such a quick shot, and his confidence has got to go through the roof now. It was his 5th goal. And that's a shorthand.
That was shorthanded,
yeah.
Yep.
So second shorthanded goal. They give it a 2-minute unsportsmanlike maybe for his celebration. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Didn't see that. I really don't know if that was worthy of a penalty, but I'm assuming that's what it was on.
That would be his second unsportsmanlike of the night.
Yeah. I'm not, maybe I'm jumping into it a little too much, but his celebration, hey, look, you score 5 goals, you're allowed to celebrate.
I
That was a heck of a shot.
How about that? I mean, I'm not sure I've ever done that. Put a goal down at 9:46 and then put the penalty down on the same player at 9:46. Go figure.
I've seen it the other way where the goal was scored and the other team got a penalty.
Number 71, T.J. McKee.
So it's 9-6. I'm just laughing. And there you go.
Hey, this is turning into the NFL, the No Fun League. Just kidding. I really didn't see it unless he said something. You don't know. It is high school, but I can't speculate. But I just didn't see anything there to deserve a penalty.
Have we come up with like the auto-tune version of Rock and Roll Part 2? I don't even know what's going on. All right, 9-6 the score. So now it's 5-on-3 for 35 seconds.
And now Carmel has to put a puck in the net.
I agree. They've got to get this thing back at least to 9-7 with under 7 to go now. Held in left point, brings it across. Murphy, top of the right circle. Brendan Murphy, down the right side it goes. Mount in the corner. Cross ice into the left circle. Wrister on net, puck loose, pokes home. It's a power play goal. It's 9-7.
And that's exactly what Carmel needed. They had 12 seconds left on the penalty, so there's 2-man advantage. And now it's a 2-goal game, and with their arguably best offensive player in the box, Carmel's got a chance to make this a 1-goal game. Oh, is there a goalie who seems to be injured?
And yeah, McDougal is down right out in front of his own net. So it's 9-7 on the power play goal. That would take Betancourt's off the board. His penalty, I should say.
I think I'll have to watch the video later to see, because I had the camera on the play, obviously, and then we were talking about the goal, and I had just left it there. So I'm sure we might be able to see what happened to
McDougal.
To McDougal, sorry. McDougal and McCullough. I'm kind of flip-flopping through.
And we get to do it all again next Friday.
Yeah, by next Friday I'll know all these players.
And you know what's going to happen, with all due respect to Justin McCullough. Another goalie starting next Friday.
Yeah, of course.
Hopefully not for Justin McCullough's sake, but you never know.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, it's never easy with coaches when you have 3 goalies to rotate, get enough time in there. I think in this case, with 2 juniors, it appears that it's shared time between Ravert and McCullough. But again, the freshman Richardson has.
There you go.
He's gotten some playing time in some major, some good. He's 1-1.
Exactly.
Winning your first varsity game as a 9th grader, that's pretty. It's pretty impressive too. He looks like he's okay.
Did you ever think you'd hear Africa come back to life like this?
Have you seen the video?
I've not seen the video. By the way, there's
one of the best videos you'll ever see.
There is a new pit bull version that kind of changes it up, and it's getting absolutely shelled in terms of being awful, and deservedly so, I might say. Off the face-off, after the Luke Golisano goal with 1:23 remaining. Folks, we try to cover all the bases. We try really hard. The Boston Red Sox, by the way, are talking about doing a talk show in their play-by-play radio version, which just frightens me.
Why?
Because they're the Boston Red Sox. This will bounce down into the Carmel zone. I had, like I said, a lot of fun with Sean McGee, Mickey Lugbauer, and the Mahopac coaching staff for baseball. And I called Mahopac a Yankees town because I've lived up here 50 years. As we get a whistle right near the line. This is actually out of my line of sight. Perhaps offside.
I think it's just an offside.
Okay, just offside. So the coaches were laughing. They said, "We've heard you say that." All 3 coaches are Mets fans.
Mets fans, that's so funny. I was going to say if they were Red Sox fans.
If they were Red Sox fans, that'd really be weird.
Well, it's kind of funny because the school superintendent for Carmel is a Red Sox fan.
Go figure. Down the other end it goes into the Carmel zone. 40 seconds remaining on the McKee penalty. TJ McKee, you've scored your 5th goal of the night. Instead of going to Disney World, you're going to the penalty box. As the Rams get it out of their own zone, the Indians will take it. 9-7, but 5:39 remaining. Betancourt will take it back into his own zone.
They still have time for another 4 or 5 goals to be scored when this game is gone.
As this comes down into the Carmel zone, left aside by Justin McCullough. It'll go into the circle, just skating around patiently as Gavin Golisano brings it over near side. Knifing away is Graham Ludwig. 2-1, and the power play expires. So we skate even strength. McKee comes right out with 5:09 remaining. But yes, otherwise typically this is a Yankees, Giants, Rangers, Knicks region. I know there are Jets fans. Bless my dad's memory. He loved the Jets. My brother, who lives in Lake Carmel, loves the Jets when he pays attention. But it's a Giants area. Cross-ice pass over to the near side. Waiting there is Dundon. Turned right back out. Now bounces down into the Carmel zone.
Then I guess I won't mention that they lost 17-0 today.
They did lose today. Yeah, they didn't play very well.
Not in the slightest.
I watched some of that. That game was 7-0 for a long time. But in a driving rainstorm at MetLife Stadium, which I still want to call Giant Stadium. Trying to get it across the line. Bounces down in the neutral zone. Taken by the Indians. Trying to work it with O'Shea. O'Shea with a hat trick as well. 8 of the goals from Mahopac between McKee and O'Shea. What a shock. Turned around by McKee in his own zone. Sends out with 4 minutes remaining. Well, 9-7.
The percentage of goals scored by these 2 kids is going to go up dramatically after this game.
Ridiculous numbers. Just amazing. This is like, video game numbers. Held in by the Indians with Sotilli. Trying to trickle down, taking it. Dundon goes over to the far side, plays it off the board, sends it down on net, just pushed aside by the stick of McCullough. 3:39 to go. The odds don't look great for Carmel, but in this game, I'm not going to be that silly. Backhander right on net. Bounces away, comes back behind the cage, comes over to the near side. 9-7 Mahopac with 3:25 to go. Sent back down by the Indians, and O'Shea. Here's McKee, left circle. Sent along, unable to get anything on it with Sotilli. Trying to keep it in Martin. Martin goes right circle. Sends down, stick save, and out of the rink it goes off of McCullough. 3:10 to go. The Indians leading 9-7.
Yeah, that was Sotilli had a great chance with, and I see that McKee went over to him. He set up Sotilli beautifully on a pass. and I guess it just went through and he didn't get a good shot off, but that goes to show you that McKee's got eyes on the back of his head to make some of these plays.
Off the face-off, it bounces behind the net, comes over to the near side in the Carmel zone. 3 minutes remaining, third period, 9-7 the score. Right back at it on Friday night. Looking forward to it. But we're around, folks. You want some more broadcasts, just give us a shout. It's an easy enough trip to have some fun with. Even if Harold can't do it, chances are I can, so you never know. Left corner, and that goes for Carmel as well. Don't think of this as just a Mahopac broadcast. To the near side, even though the Indians had a lot to do with setting this up tonight, don't think it's one-sided. 2.5 remaining. Rams trying to get something going here. Here's a backhander, trying a couple of things. Leg, and it goes to the far side boards. 2:28 to go. Top of the left circle. Bounced away from LaFontaine. Trying to lift it. Goes off of Alex Wood. Goes back behind the net. Wood in the left corner. 2:15 to go. Left circle. Wood again. Wood heading toward the left corner. Over comes Bricker. Trying to get something on it. Nothing there. Indians able to clear. That's a big clear for Mahopac as out they come with Carraher. Down the left side. Carraher chases. Trying to get it away is Gavin Golisano. Looking for the center. It goes out to center. Here's Murphy. Murphy into his own zone with 1:49 remaining. 9-7 Mahopac. McKee behind the net. McKee to the right corner. Goes to the right circle. He's looking for a double hat trick. Goes behind the net. He's got 5. What the heck? Right out in front. Oh, just missing it. Going well wide was Carraher. He had it in the slot. Out to center it comes. Waiting there, Biagini. 90 seconds to go. Biagini through the neutral zone, turned over, and the Rams will bring it back. That goes wide from Mount toward the left side. Murphy there, extra skater on with 1:17 to go. The net is now empty as on came LaFontaine. Into the left circle. Left circle, Murphy had an open net to shoot at. Did Luke Golisano. His would have been a hat trick if he could have finished it. Right circle it goes. A stick on the ice, that gets retrieved. The penalty coming with 1:01 remaining. I did not see an indication. Cross-check on Stephen Mount. The Carmel bench, to say the least, not enamored with the call.
Yeah, I got to be honest, I didn't see it. There was a lot of stuff going on in that zone. I mean, it's always a bad penalty to take in the offensive zone when especially if you have you're down by 2, pull the goalie. But again, I didn't see it, so I will not comment whether it was a good or bad call.
Face off to the right side as this long night almost ready to end. 1 minute to go. Mahopac will finish it on the power play. To the near side, the Indians keep it in. Bricker leaves it behind O'Shea, left point. Trying to get around Golisano. It's lifted back to O'Shea. O'Shea just inside the zone, keeps it alive. There is McKee. McKee left circle. McKee goes to the backhand, trying to finish with Bricker. Bricker comes over near side, 35 remaining, 9-7 the score. To the left circle. Indians trying to play a little more deliberately. They slow things up. Now Bricker blasted on, that save made, but unable to hold on was McCullough. McKee behind the net. McKee to Bricker. Bricker left circle, goes behind the net, 18 to go. Looks like the Indians will wrap it up, 9-7. Right now they've got the lead. Bricker on the right side, goes into the corner, chasing over there. Along comes Dundon with 9 seconds remaining. Indians will finish it on the power play, and it looks like they'll be 7-0 in 3 seconds. Trapped behind the net, and this one is all over. And the Mahopac Indians grab a 9-7 hard-fought victory tonight.
Yeah, that was an interesting game. I thought it was choppy at best, but I think that with the offense that Mahopac has, Carmel's got to definitely start looking at a game plan for controlling and containing McKee and O'Shea, because those kids, when they get the puck on their stick, they make things happen, and Carmel's defense had no answer for them.
So if you've got an extra hour, we'll recap the scoring. No, we actually won't take that long. One thing about the Brewster Ice Arena, if you don't know, They literally, it's a factory of games and events. And when you're up in this tower that we're in, you're trapped. There's your difference in the third period. You hear the shots on goal? 11-3 Mahopac.
Yep, and that was the difference in the game. I thought for the most part the game itself was clean. It got a little nasty at the end. I see a broken stick, so something tells me it was either slashed on someone or slashed on it. So it got a little choppy towards the end, and it got a little chippy towards the end. I saw, I think it was 26, Dundon was motioning to them. And again,
I saw the same thing.
Part of the fun of having these two teams play each other is they play each other again Friday. So, I think that's part of the rivalry.
Yeah, Dundon was giving a little adios to Carmel for sure. I mean, that's the nature of the beast, but to the victor goes the spoils. Here's how I'll recap the scoring. And then I'll take a picture and I'll post it online. O'Shea made it 1-0. Wood made it 1-1. McKee 2-1. Murphy 2-2. Luke Golisano 3-2. Lagan 4-2. Carmel. That's how we ended the first period. Second period, O'Shea shorthanded 4-3. Bricker 4-4 power play. Lagan power play 5-4. Then McKee and Murphy. That made it 6-6 after 2. McKee again in the third, 7-6. O'Shea 8-6. McKee 9-6. Luke Golisano made it 9-7.
And there were also, if I'm not mistaken, there were 4 posts, 3 for Mahopac and at least 1 for Carmel.
That sounds about right.
So you might have run out of paper if they would have scored.
Unbelievably, I finished with 1 open goal slot in this game.
Well,
on my score sheet.
You might want to create a new sheet for the next game. Given the fact that Mahopac is keeping true to their 8+ goals per game, Carmel scoring 7, again, nothing to sneeze at. I mean, looking at the way Carmel played, their scoring was a little more balanced, as we said.
Yep.
McKee and O'Shea were the dominant 2 players, which we pretty much assumed was going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see how the coaches approach this for the next game. Do they just continue this, or do they talk about, shutting down players? Do you talk about, Carmel's a little more difficult to shut down because they were a little more spread out with their scoring. I mean, Murphy was probably their dominant player offensively, but they had more goals from different players. So I think it'll be a little harder for Mahopac to play shut down for 7 goals, but it's not too hard to figure out who's scoring for Mahopac.
The snow-covered flip-flops of Coach Donaghy just makes me laugh. I'm sorry, it does.
He's going to be the first coach to ever get frostbite during the hockey season.
And I do know football coaches that would wear shorts all year. Let's see, right off the top of my head comes Mark DeCristoforo, who coached out on Staten Island. He wore shorts every game regardless of weather. So just goes to show. I'm sure there's another game coming, so you and I should pack up and get out of here.
Sounds good, Rob.
A lot of fun. See you on Friday.
I'll be here.
We'll be right back with you for the Hockey Fights Cancer game. That is Friday night at 6:30 as Mahopac and Carmel will meet once again. Final score, Mahopac 9 and Carmel 7. We're going to get out of here on that note. Once again, Mahopac wins this game tonight 9-7. For the Indians, they improve to 7-0. Carmel drops to 2-4. We'll see you next Friday at right around 6:25, so long as there isn't another figure skating event. We'll be right back with you. For Harold Turk, I'm Rob Adams saying good night from the Brewster Ice Arena with the final score, Mahopac 9 and Carmel 7. You've been listening to High School Ice Hockey on Robcasting Radio. We'll see you next time. Join me on WGCH Radio, 3 o'clock tomorrow for doubleheader. But for now, from the Brewster Ice Arena, good night, everyone.